Hey guys, welcome to CryptoCoach365. This is day 61. First of all, sorry, happy 4th of July if you're celebrating that. I am still kind of getting over my cold, so sorry if I'm going to be coughing or having sniffles a little bit. Hopefully it's not going to last for too much longer because, no, I mean, nobody likes getting sick. Excuse me. So, with regards to these things, uh, information is important, but lectures are kind of boring. So I'll try to teach some things here and there, but there's quite a lot of videos and information and lectures and PowerPoints and all that kind of stuff that you can find online already about some of the basic things. So um, I don't want to keep these things too boring. I'm told that I have an interesting life, so I'll kind of keep more of my, I guess, uh, I'll keep these more about what's it like to live as a crypto millionaire who's an entrepreneur into a bunch of businesses, as opposed to. So today we're gonna talk about blah 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 blah, all this boring stuff. Anyway, what's going on with me right now, or at least recently? As you know, I came back from London. I had a bit of a break this week. Unfortunately, it's been a lot of uh, me being sick. But in this short time, I was able to catch up on quite a lot of other things that I needed to do, specifically real estate. I am supposed to be closing, was supposed to have closed on a property last Tuesday, and the seller wanted to sell and close in a week, which got pushed because I was in London at the time. At first, they told me I can close and remotely. Then they said no, you can't close remotely. So they pushed it to this week on Tuesday, and on Tuesday we ended up having to push it again because they still needed some information from me said that I did not have at this time. And basically, um, usually when I close properties, personally, if I use Unchained Capital for and basic get my own funds for this, so I put Bitcoin up as collateral through Unchained Capital. They send me the money within a week, and then I have a check ready. In those kind of situations, I go to the title company office on a close, hand them a check. They send me sign some documents. I get the deed, shake hands, we walk away. There's nothing to do there. It was all just like no problems. And then with that, I can do in a week, maybe. Um, and then after that, I do all the follow-up stuff that needs to be done. Like I get the contractors to work on it. I figure out what to do with the property. Blah, blah, blah. I mean, I figure out whether it's going to be profitable or not beforehand, but all the kind of like administrative stuff happens afterwards. Unfortunately, I mean, maybe it's I was doing it wrong, but I was also getting insurance on all my properties after I actually purchased it, because why do I get insurance on a property I don't actually own yet? But going with a hard money lender, as I have been doing more recently, because I want to start using other people's money more than my own. Uh, if you're having to go through a lender, through a title company, a lender, and a couple other parties being involved, when people say let's close next week or even let's close in 2 weeks, honestly, that's just bullshit. Because there's so many things that need to go through, so many. I mean, normally, if I'm buying it even through a wholesaler, let's say I'm buying it through a wholesaler, the seller, the wholesaler, to those who don't know, it's somebody who looks for properties that are in distress that people are trying to get rid of, and acts kind of as a broker to between, helping them sell the property to me. So what happens is, let's say there's a property that's actually worth 200,000, but it's in such dilapidated state that nobody wants it. So the wholesaler talks to the owner, agrees to get the owner to sell it for, let's say, 80,000, and then the wholesaler gives it to me for, say, 90,000. Keeps the 10,000 for himself as a wholesaler fee. I buy it for 90,000. I put in a couple of, like, say, 50,000 to fix it. I flip it. I sell it for 200,000. I keep whatever's left after all the other fees and other junk that goes into it. So wholesaler is basically somebody who goes up and finds properties that are in distress. Generally, when I'm buying properties directly, I just deal with a wholesaler because the actual seller of the property, all they care about is to get their check. That's it. They're not involved. When there is a hard money lender involved, unfortunately, the title company has to get a lot more involved because then there's another party that has to provide all the information about all of their money, and then the wholesaler the hard money lender, they're the people who lend money specifically on real estate, and they need proof of insurance. There's a lot more needs for the corporate documents, the legal documents, a whole bunch of other stuff. And yeah, the result, this whole fiasco ends up expanding into the seller, for whatever reason, becomes an actual important party to it. So we have the seller, the wholesaler, the title company, the hard money lender, and myself. There's 5 people that are having to coordinate it. And because of that, there's, like I said, there's no freaking way that I've been able to get it down to 2 weeks before. Like 2 weeks is really pushing it. And that's what happened this week with this property, where we were supposed to close on Tuesday. But then suddenly the hard money lender is like, oh, by the way, we need insurance on this property, which they told me about on Monday. So I ordered it right then, obviously, but insurance is gonna not be able to turn around that quickly. Also, the issue was 4th of July being a holiday. Actually, I kind of forgot completely about it being a holiday because being an entrepreneur, you kind of don't have the whole Mondays to Friday thing. You pretty much work whenever you need to work. But anyway, all the offices are closed, so I couldn't really deal with that either. But I think everything that needs to be done is ready to be done, I hope. So that means that tomorrow we will finally go and I'll finally close on this property. And then, excuse me, once it's closed, somebody else is actually going to be taking over to do all the work on it, because for myself, I kind of offered offered all my corporate and financial tools to another person whom I've also met through the Elite Legacy Education real estate class that I signed up on. And he needed help because he's still full-time employed, has almost no experience doing this, and doesn't have any of the tools set up. And I've been doing this not for very long, but this will be my 9th property at this point. So I am obviously not completely educated, as opposed with the insurance, not getting it right away, but at least I have the tools in place to do it. So, but he's going to be taking care of this for me. Myself, I will be leaving for a while. I am tomorrow after the close, I'm driving up to Pittsburgh. There's a convention I'm going to be at the entire week, so I'll be recording this from a hotel. Hopefully things will go well. Hopefully I'll have the time. I mean, I know I'll have the time. I'll make the time. And then the convention ends on Sunday night. We spend the night at the hotel. Monday early in the morning we get up, drive 4 hours to get back home, and unpack, repack, drive down to an airport that's about 2 hours away. Because in DC area there's 3 airports. There's one right in DC, there's one north of it in Baltimore, and there's one west of it in Dulles Airport. So the benefit is with 3 airports, you can really shop for which airlines are cheaper. But anyway, we're going to Dulles because we're flying out to Paris for a week. This is not a business trip, it's a pleasure trip, but it's something that I wanted to do for a long time. One of the many trips that I've scheduled this year. And it was one of those a long time ago. I love to travel. When I worked at a job, I wanted to the original plan was that I was going to travel one country year, because here in US we get 2 weeks of vacation a year. Eventually I wanted to upgrade it to 2 countries a year. Unfortunately, it's been kind of like no countries, or just did not have time, mainly was jobs and other stuff. So now that I have a lot of time, Paris was one of the places I wanted to visit. So I was like, well, hey, Paris is available for this timeshare thing that I bought, which the vacation club that I may have mentioned. So we grabbed the week and decided let's do it this year. I mean, besides this, I mean, I've been to Hawaii already. I've been to Mexico twice this year. Uh, just came back from London. London was a business trip. I didn't really get to see much of London at all, but I've seen London before. Yeah, we're going to Paris. Probably gonna end up canceling our Iceland trip in August because we are moving. But then it's Alaska in September, then Italy, and well, only Venice. Yeah, only Venice. Venice, but mostly cruise through Greece, the Greek island in October. Then JT Fox's mega success and Disneyland area in November. No idea what I'm doing in December. I'm sure I'll find something to do. And January, I believe, is our 2-week guided tour through Australia. Like another one of those 8 places. Yeah, Australia was actually on our to-do list for, God, probably like 9 years at this point. Like we wanted, oh, let's go to Australia next year, no, next year, no, next year, no, next year. And it's just, we kept pushing and pushing and pushing. And as I learned, if it's something that you decide to do later, there's a really damn good chance it's going to be something that you're not going to end up doing ever. So if you want to do something, just freaking do it. Because, yeah, it's otherwise you're just going to keep putting it off. As JT, my business coach, keeps saying, everything's about speed of implementation. You come up with an idea, do it right away. Like with regards to the video, it was at London. I was in class for marketing. I was talking about my at the time CryptoCoach365, and I was doing these audio podcasts, same as JT does with his. And somebody says, no, you really need to do these as video. Get like the equipment, get it all set up, and start doing video, because then you can show how, like, you can show more than just your voice. You can show where you're at. Sorry, this is just my living room. There's a map here of the world with places I've traveled. That's all that is behind me. But I was thinking, okay, I guess I'll once I get home, I'll start doing it. But it's like, I realized, no, if I waited 2 or 3 days to start doing video, I probably would have never got around to doing it. So I ended up just doing it right then and there in a hotel room. So the very first CryptoCoach365 that I did in video was the day that they told me to do it, because if I was to put it aside, it would end up like a lot of my other projects, which are, someday projects, which probably means no day, because unfortunately we only have 24 hours in a day, and personally I need to sleep for at least 8 of those hours, otherwise I am totally screwed up for the rest of the day. So anyway, with regards to crypto, and actually with regards to this video, I need to buy myself a like a gorilla stand type of deal. Because right now this thing is on a professional tripod that is not very portable. So I need something a little more portable, and I also need a better microphone. What I was actually doing for the last couple of days was I was using a headset that you can use to make phone calls with. It's a noise cancelling headset. Bose, really awesome for flying in airplanes because it cuts out all the noise. But it has a microphone right on it, and I figured if I have a microphone, like it would be right over here under my t-shirt, then it would record audio pretty well. Unfortunately, that wasn't the case. Some of the videos had pretty quiet audio, and I apologize for that. So I need to order an actual good quality clip-on microphone, if not like great, at least something, and a tripod, which will be coming in hopefully Monday. But in order to do that, I can actually show you how to do that by using a service that I use to order stuff from Amazon by using Bitcoin while getting a considerable discount. Usually it's 15%, but I'm going to do it with 5% just to speed it up. The higher the percent you use discount, the longer it might take for somebody to pick it up and buy it for you. So that's why I'm going to use the 5%. So I'm gonna try this. Hopefully it'll work. If it does not, the website is purse.io. The way that it works is you create a wish list on Amazon. Purse.io is an escrow. You copy paste that wish list into purse.io. Somebody else, and you deposit bitcoins to cover the expense. Somebody else actually buys all those items off your wish list and ships them to your house. And then when you receive them, you mark them as received. And once everything is received, all your escrow bitcoins are released to the person who bought them. And you don't even really need to own or use or care about Bitcoin to use it, because you can open an account at Coinbase, and let's say you're buying something that'll be worth $100. So Purse will require you to put in a little bit more in escrow because Bitcoin fluctuates. So let's say it's $100. You want to get a 15% discount, so it'll actually cost you $85. So you put it on, set up the purchase on Purse. Somebody will go, Purse will ask you for probably about like $90 to $100. So you just buy the $100 from Coinbase of Bitcoin, transfer those Bitcoin directly to Purse. Once the items are purchased and delivered, you can take those Bitcoins that are on Purse, just send them back to Coinbase, sell them again, and that's it. So like you don't even have to ever hold those Bitcoins yourself, but you still end up ordering items on Amazon at 15% off and free shipping. And a lot of times it's people who are ordering through Amazon Prime, so you'll actually be able to get it within a couple of days too. So yeah, so I'm going to see if I can record that video on my laptop and splice it at the end of this video. And if not, if it doesn't work, then you got all the information here. And that's it. Happy shopping. Gonna finish this up and head to bed, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.
Hey, so this is the example I wanted to show you guys. First, I need to actually select some things that I want to buy. Generally, if I'm feeling lazy, I look for things that are Amazon's choice for things. So here's a lapel microphone, Amazon's choice. Need to add it. So I'm going to add it to my list. I created a couple of them. One is purse.io.1. So now as you see on that list, I have the microphone, the tripod. I'm also taking IFR flight lessons so I can fly around in bad weather on my plane, and this is a book that was recommended. So I have 3 items here. If I want to buy it, I go to purse.io, purse.io. There is I'm logged in, a place to search for items directly, or I can actually paste a shortcut to the list here. So what I would do is I would go to the list. I can go to it like under your lists. Then I would share the list, take this link right here, copy, paste it into this, hit enter, processing, there we go. So it has all the items that it found. I'm going to add selected to cart. Off it goes. This is the stuff right now. It's $55 total. Originally is $58. Right now it's $55.33. This total savings, that's probably the 5% as default. So I proceed to checkout. Yep, that's the 5% default. I can take this thing and I scroll it up, and as you see, as I go up, the estimated delivery time goes up. And the reason for that is that the more of a discount you have, it's longer it might take for somebody to actually accept this purchase. So for example, if you go up to like 25 days, 25%, there's a chance that nobody else is going to want to buy this unless Bitcoin really goes up in value. So this is like desperate people would be buying Bitcoin with a 25% premium, because that's really what they're doing, is they're using their own money or their own credit cards or their own Amazon gift cards to buy Bitcoin, kind of indirectly. So usually I go for 15%, and this has worked pretty much every time. Unfortunately, I need this stuff before I go to Paris on Monday, so I need it to be done as soon as I can. If you select 5%, then Purse.io, the company itself, actually buys this stuff for you and delivers it right away, so you don't have to actually wait. So I'm just going to do 5%. So it's going to save me $3, no big deal, but it's actually going to also save me shipping costs. And where it says fast shipping, if you want to have fast shipping on your items, you have to make sure that they are Amazon Prime items. You don't have to have Amazon Prime yourself, but if they're Amazon Prime, Purse.io has Amazon Prime account, so their people will actually ship it out to you really fast. So that's done. I hit continue, select my address, proceed to payment, and now it's just going to ask me for a Bitcoin address. So at this point, I would just hit complete payment. There's a Bitcoin address to send to. I'm not sure why the heck it keeps jumping out. Yes, that's what I want. And that's probably because of the recording that it's having overlay issues. Anyway, as soon as I send the Bitcoin, which I'll do after I hit the recorded screen capture video is causing conflicts here, but as soon as I finish this, I'm going to send those Bitcoins, and I should have these items to my house by Monday. And in case you're wondering, that address is not my address. Yeah, please don't harass the people who live there. Anyway, bye guys.